What's up, guys? Jim Howe here. We are in Dinwiddie, Virginia at Virginia Motorsports Park, a racetrack that I'm very familiar with and have had a lot of success at over the years. This marks my 4th season with No Prep Kings. This will be race number 2, season 7 right now. Not my 4th year racing though. This actually marks my 36th year of having an NHRA or IHRA competition license. And we've been doing this for quite some time. Yes, I am much older than I look, I'm told. So, you know, I've been racing a lot, done a lot of different big, small, in the middle. We raced IHRA, NHRA, I've won national events, I've run regional events. We've won big money bracket racing. I actually bracket raced for a living for a long time, and then went on to run IHRA Top Dragster, then back into small tire stuff, heavy street, a little bit of everything. Heads up racing, fast door cars, fast dragsters, a little bit of everything over the years, and that is because I came from a racing background. My dad was a racer. I grew up as a racer's son, and they owned a drag strip in 1984, from 1984 to 1988, known now as Central Michigan Dragway in Stanton, Michigan. Then they bought I-40 Dragway in Crossville, Tennessee, and we ran it as a family for some 25 years. So I've been on both sides of the fence in this industry. Now I'm blessed to say that my 18-year-old son is actually following as a 3rd generation drag racer, and he is racing now. He's racing my OG car that I actually started here with, but it's a car that means more than that, because I actually brought that car out of Texas as a basket case when Jimmy was just 2 or 3 days old, and we built that car into what it is today. Along the way, it's captured a lot of small tire wins. It's captured a limited drag radio world championship, and propelled us to a 13th points spot in our first year in NPK, and it was our first year running No Prep. And actually the car was 600 pounds overweight. So I said then that when I got the new car done, you know, everything would change and we were going to be a different force to be reckoned with once I had a car that was on the same playing field. So we'll fast forward a year and I bring out the Guardian. Missed half a year in season 5. Yep, missed half a year in season 5 while getting that car built, and came out with 2 wins and a 6th place finish in points. Then last year we brought the car out thinking that we were on top of our game, and we had tragedy happen in Minnesota where I totaled the car. That forced us to build another car, Guardian 2.0. And fortunately last weekend in Maple Grove, we actually put that car in the winner's circle once again, picking up the first race of the 2024 season. The one thing that I want to talk about also is that not only am I a 2nd generation racer and my son is a 3rd generation racer, but I also married a racer. Amanda Howe, my wife, one of the most talented female drivers in drag racing, had a very good career in radio racing, has actually the first woman to go over 200 miles an hour on a drag radio, and has a lot of accolades herself, to her credit. So we're one big racing family, and when we're not racing these big cars, we're racing slot cars on a 1/24 scale drag race track. And we also travel with our slot cars, and we go slot car racing at local tracks in our travels. So, and that allows my 7-year-old Blaze to get to drag race also. So the entire family is nothing but racers. We eat, sleep, and breathe everything drag racing. But as I was saying about the Guardian, last weekend we were able to pick up a win at the first race of season 7 in Maple Grove against Ryan Martin in the final. And we had some development over the winter. We worked really hard at perfecting some of the things that cost us races last year. And then also we brought PJS Race Engines on board, my good friend and dear family that we're very close to, and that's the Pez family. So, you know, we can talk about it later. Let's go out and look at the car, and I'll show you some of the stuff we did. I'll show you what I can show you. There's some of the stuff that I'm just not going to show you, and that's because we don't need everybody knowing what we do. And it's not like it's a big secret, but we work really hard at what we do, and we try to look for that edge, and I think we've got one right now. We just got to see how it all plays out and not make mistakes this season. All right, guys, so a couple things that separate our program from the rest. Not only do we have a PJS motor on board, but this is the motor that broke the internet last week. This is the motor that caused a rule revision last week that came out in less than 1 week's time. First time ever in No Prep Kings history that has ever happened. Most would think I'd be upset, but I'm not. We actually done this program to prove a point that there was a loophole in the rules that needed to be addressed. That loophole was that they were allowing a non-Hemi head or a non-481X head to run at a 100-pound weight break. Now, as you at home, you're going to say, wait a minute, that thing's got spark plugs that go through the top. That's a Hemi. Well, sadly, that doesn't dictate what a Hemi is. A hemispherical chamber is dictated inside the head, and if you think of a ball, a hemisphere, The chamber in the head has to be a hemisphere with opposing valves. This motor is canted valve and it's a wedge head, not a hemispherical head. A lot of design and work went into this. Brandon Pez and I sat down, we put this deal together, and we put it together to change the rule set. And that's all we wanted to do. Now that going forward, here in the next couple weeks, this thing will have a Hemi head on it and a Hemi piston back in the motor. But we did this to prove a point, and I did it to absolutely keep from having that big loophole that was in the rules last year from being a part of the rules any further. But this is the one. A couple things that separate us. We do not run electronic fuel injection. I run manual injection. Manual fuel injection, which means I tune this thing manually. There's no computer that handles the fuel side of the motor. I do it all through mathematics and fuel flow through the pump. And we have a great big old magneto on this thing. No electronic ignition like the rest of the cars. So old school, new school, all mixed into one. This thing uses a massive 2 3/4 inside diameter exhaust pipe, much bigger than our Hemis did. But we had to get the flow of that wedge head. Got to get it in and get it out. So this is what we did. All right, guys, so this is my office on race day. 5-speed Liberty transmission. We do change between 3 and 7 speeds depending on the racetrack and where we're at. We have a 3-speed and all the way up to 7-speed inside the trailer. Titanium tunnel that keeps the drive shaft all good. We have DSP poured seats. This is a custom-made seat that pours to fit my body, along with the big, thick DSP head padding. We run Haltech ECU on the car, and I use the Haltech to control timing events and when those fuel timers come on and go off. Then there's something that's very special to me that we've done for years, and that's the kids' signatures. You see all the dash signatures that are on the car? These are from different kids that sat in the car throughout the year, and I get their autograph when they ask me for mine. Fire suppression bottles behind the Braille batteries. We use Braille batteries in everything exclusively. They are a huge part of what we do, the best batteries that we have ever used. And I'm not saying that as a sponsor plug, because I'll tell you something, guys, I pay for my batteries. It's just that good of a product, and they know they have that good of a product, and it'll crank this big old motor up, no problem, zero issues, great company, great people to do business with. You know, there's a little bit of love there because one of my other heroes, who is Tony Christensen, Tony actually ran the Braille battery racing side of things for years, and Tony was a mentor and somebody I thought a lot of. Sadly, Tony, passed away last season, so his daughter now heads up the race side of the company, and we're going to stick with him as long as she's there and as long as they're making the batteries they are, and I know they will because she's carrying on that tradition. All the carbon interior, this is everything carbon fiber that's not chrome moly chassis, and that's just to keep the car light, and it's also very durable. Carbon is a very durable product, and it looks good. So it's aesthetically pleasing, it's lightweight. And so that's the middle of the car, and let's go check out the back side and get to see this fat bottom girl from the rear. All right, so the back of the girl, steel roof and quarters. That's all GM steel roof, GM quarter panels, carbon fiber deck lid. Paint by Garrett's Garage in Dunlap, Tennessee. Garrett has been with me for years. The best painter and metal guy that I've ever run across in all my life. The guy can fix anything, he can paint anything, and we need him on race day all the time. Something about the car, the back side of the car has got a poem, and it's how the car was named. I lost my daughter 2 years ago, and it took me about 6 months to write that poem. I still get a little choked up today talking about it. She was 22 years old when she died, and she died from complications of cancer treatment from stage 4 nasopharyngeal. We run a Hoosier tire on the car, MacFab beadlock wheels. We also run Mentzer Motorsport shocks on all 4 corners. It's got a Marty Merlette rear end in the car and a Lazarus 11-inch center section from Quick Performance. My guys over there at Quick Performance, the best differential company that you will ever find, and that's from street cars to four-wheel drives to all-out quarter-mile beasts like the Guardian here. And that's what I was going to say. That's how the car got its name. I wrote the poem. It is spelled wrong intentionally. Why do you say is it spelled wrong? It's not because I'm an illiterate hick. It is because the correct spelling has had a trademark on it, and I didn't want to ever get into a trademark infringement on something that I wrote because the poem is mine. And when the poem was done, it ended up being called The Guardian. That was the name of the poem, and I decided to name the car after my daughter, and she was my biggest fan, and so I feel like that was a proper tribute to her. On the quarter panels and on the front end, you will see the Best Day Foundations and a Soldier's Child, 2 foundations that we work with. We're gonna have the Best Day Foundation out here with us this weekend, bringing their kids. These are a group of special needs kids who we bring out to have their best day ever, and I make them part of our pit crew at these races. Same thing with Soldier's Child. Those are children of fallen soldiers who have helped our U.S. military, and we're going to bring some Gold Star families out to some of these races and let them experience some stuff that they never get to normally. All right, guys, so that takes you through the car. The guys are getting the car ready. We're getting ready to go up for chip draw for round 1 here in just a few minutes. We need to repeat last week's performance and break the internet again on Monday. Take care.
Got 24 drivers standing in front of me. I'm going to start here to my left. To my left, Mr. Jerry Berger. We got Jimmy Taylor over here. Mr. Disco Dean. Bobby Cody. Scott Scooter Taylor. Jim Howe.
Remember that discussion earlier? I know. Hey, can we get that in a text message? I'm sorry. Especially to Dean. Hey, so you told on the car phone in the office.
Paige Coughlin. Yeah. Number 12.
Paige Coughlin, the Golden Child here. We are at Virginia Motorsports Park. This is the second race of the season. For first round, we went up and drew Jim Howe. Now, when I drew that chip, I'm like, oh boy, you know, he just won last weekend, so we got to pull out all of the guns for this. It's going to be a race.
Right down through there, Paige Coughlin.
For comfort.
The passenger door came open.
All right, what's up guys? Jimmy Howe here. Day 1 at Virginia Motorsports Park. We come off the trailer, we raced Justin Swansham for our test pass. Got that win, come back around, serviced the car, made some tune-up changes, read some track conditions for second round. We went up there, put a tune-up in because we're racing Paige Coughlin. It was pretty close to 100 foot. Paige had to lift, she made a right move. We went on down right through there, got the win. We're gonna come back tomorrow and we're looking for the two-peat.
All right, hey everybody, I'm Lake Downham. I'm with the Best Day Foundation. We're a nonprofit organization. We specialize in taking special needs kids surfing. We also look for other avenues to create opportunities for kids that may not get opportunities to see cool events happen. And last year, Jim Howe from Howe Motorsports reached out to us, and he had this great idea of bringing some kids out to a race and involving them in his crew and getting them to be part of the team. So we thought it was a no-brainer after talking with them for a while. So we're super happy that we actually made it work. We're here at Virginia Motorsports Park, and we brought 6 kids here to join in on the fun, and they're walking around meeting all the drivers, having a great time. They're going to get in the car and check it out, and they're going to be able to cheer on Howe Motorsports and Jim Howe, and hopefully we pull out the dub today. And I can't be more blessed that you guys invited us to join in this endeavor, and we're super happy to be here.
Yes, buddy. Yes, buddy. Can you say best day?
Yeah! Hey guys, Dan Newsbaum, crew chief of Howe Motorsports, here with the Guardian again. Car's doing great. Went out last night, made a test pass, did pretty good with it and all that kind of stuff. We drew Paige Coughlin for first round, went out with her. It was a pretty close race. She moved towards the line a little bit. The starting line was coming and going, and it got real good out there, but then about 300 foot out, it kind of just went away. Jim ended up having to pull the chutes a little bit early and stuff like that, but it made a really good pass and all that kind of stuff. We're ready to go to the finals again. We went to the finals last weekend up in Reading. We won it. Did a great race against Ryan Martin and all that kind of stuff. Finally got a little payback and stuff like that. He got us last year up in Reading, so now we got him this year in racing. So hopefully we'll be able to go up here and we'll take out Kai hopefully in the finals, because Kai's won here the past 3 years in a row. So in case you ever wonder what a crew chief does or a head lead mechanic on a car does, what we do is whenever we get back, we have to go through the whole car. We have to pull the plugs out, make sure nothing's hurt or burnt or any of that kind of stuff. Jim reviews the plugs for the next run. I pull the valve covers, run through the valve train and all that kind of stuff, make sure there's no broken springs, which we have occasionally here and there and stuff like that. Double check everything, make sure the oil looks all right, check the oil level and everything. Chris, for the other mechanic, adds fuel to the fuel tank. We go front to back, nut to bolt, everything on these cars. These cars take no reason to have something go wrong with them. Blower belts, we change those every 10 runs. Last weekend we went to the finals on a belt that had 11 runs on it, and it was barely hanging in there. But it was the only belt of that one we had, so we had to make it last and everything like that. But then we go through and we check, the transmission, nuts and bolts on the transmission. We check the rear end, make sure the rear gears are good, which are actually doing extremely well this year. We have the new Marty Merlette 11-inch rear end there with a Lassiter 11-inch. It's doing really well compared to the 10-inch rears and all that kind of stuff. So we're having really good luck with that. They spin better, work better, and all that kind of stuff. And then other than that, it's just round-around maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Make sure all the nuts and bolts are good on the blower. Everything's lubed. We spray some lube in the top of the blower, so it's good for the next round. And that's pretty much what we get into.
Who's it gonna be? Doc Love, Jim Howe and Doc Love.
Doc Love here. We just got back from the chip draw. Some people say I got unlucky. I don't think it's unlucky because I drew Jim Howe, last weekend's winner. And my take is if you can't beat him in the first round, you probably can't beat him in the finals anyways. So we're gonna try to take him out this first round. So wish us luck.
Is that what that was? We got a lot of shit. It needs to get back right now.
What's up, guys? We are back in Tennessee at the house. Quick recap on what happened in Virginia. We ran Doc, as you know. We had a loud pop at the top end of the racetrack. It launched the supercharger completely loose from the motor, and subsequently, we have no windshield. We knew whenever we got to the top end of the racetrack that we wouldn't be able to make the call for the next round, and we will carry a new windshield with us in the trailer from now on, but we elected to bypass the scale, let Doc move on to the next round. The good news is we are currently undefeated in season 7. We've not lost a round of competition. If you want to check us out on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of our social media, just check out Howe Motorsports on any of those social platforms. You can keep up with us along the way. Big shout out to the track channel for doing this And we'll see you guys in Epping, New Hampshire for the first points race, Season 7, No Prep Kings.